Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Out here getting a little road work in this morning. Time to cool down now. So Deontay Wilder is in a great position because Usyk is going on record now saying that he is seriously considering Wilder for his next opponent if Wilder can get past Helenius. And that's music to my ears, and I'm sure to many of you out there, because that's a fight that I want to see. I'd love to see Wilder get in there with Usyk and just see how he fares. Can he get him out of there? Some people say he can, some people say he can't, but I'm going to give him a boxer's chance. So good for that. My understanding, Wilder has really worked on his left hook. People are saying that the improvements Wilder's made with his weak hand, what they consider his left hand his weak hand, is similar to Manny Pacquiao working on his right hand, or that right hook, when he hooked up with Freddie Roach. If that's true, it's going to be interesting to see how the fight plays out against Deontay Wilder and a very aggressive, a very hungry Helenius. Now, Adrian Broner is back in the news. Adrian Broner, my understanding, is back in training. Now, he's calling out, is it Nick Diaz? One of those Diaz brothers from MMA. Now, the Diaz brother, he no longer has a contract with the UFC, so he's free to do what he wants. He says he wants to come out and start boxing, and what a good fight that would be between him and AB. It'd be a real big fight. It'll give him a true boxer, because, look, let's just be real. Doesn't matter how inactive Adrian Broner has been. It doesn't matter the kind of issues he's had outside the ring. We can't sit here and put Adrian Broner and Jake Paul in the same damn bucket. Okay, so for those of you who are thinking along those lines, for those people out there on Twitter who are saying Jake Paul and Adrian Broner are basically the same as a fighter, that's not fair to AB, man. I get it. Some people may not like him. I get it. He's been extremely inactive. I get it. He can be brash and offensive at times. But that's you got to try to sit the emotion aside and just be fair. Adrian Broner and Jake Paul is not the same as fighters, okay? So let's just stop right there. Now, Adrian Broner is also rumored to be fighting Rolly Romero. I personally don't think that's true. AB and Rolly Romero, why in the world would they make that fight? And let's just be real. Rolly Romero would knock out Adrian Broner right now. Okay? Now, a lot of people may agree, some may not, but I'm just being real. You can't be inactive like that and expect to come back into the sport and dominate. Rolly Romero is getting better and better. If Rolly Romero can put that kind of pressure on a guy like Tank Davis and have huge success in the fight until he got touched, right? What do you think you're going to do to an inactive AB who doesn't let his hands go? If you don't let your hands go, Rolly Romero will destroy you. So AB is not going to take that fight. As a matter of fact, Conor Benn, he and Usyk Jr. are going to fight. But Conor Benn was trying to get at AB. AB didn't want to fight him because it would have been the same situation. Conor Benn, Rolly Romero, extremely aggressive fighters. Conor Benn, Rolly Romero, if you don't let your hands go, that's your problem. They're coming in there to take your head off. So if AB is not going to fight Conor Benn for $2.5 million, and AB wants a $5 million minimum, $10 million minimum, why the hell would he fight Rolly Romero? Adrian Broner's not going to do that. I kind of think Adrian Broner missed a huge opportunity by not fighting Figueroa. But whatever, man. I'm not judging Adrian Broner. Whatever issues he had going on outside the ring are issues he had going on outside the ring. But going forward, we'll see what happens between AB, Nick Diaz, Rolly Romero. We'll see what decision he makes. But he's got to get in the ring sooner than later. In addition to that, Keith Thurman, Stanley Eunice, Jerome Boots Ennis, all these These three fighters and Virgil Ortiz. Talk about being in a holding pattern because of Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford's bullshit. This is the most ridiculous. Man, let me tell you, I've never seen anything like this. So you got Spence, Stanley Eunice, Boots, Ortiz. They all want to fight. They all want to fight Thurman or Crawford, but they can't get those fights because these guys are just kind of sitting on the sidelines. So if Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence aren't going to fight, whether it's Crawford's fault, whether it's Errol Spence's fault, the fight's not happening, whether it's Al Heyman, at this point it doesn't even matter. I'm not sure who's at fault. They can keep pointing fingers at everybody. What's going to happen, and it's already, the discussions are starting, are the mandatories. So a lot of you don't want to see Keith Thurman against Errol Spence. Errol Spence doesn't want to see that. But at the end of the day, Errol Spence is the man in line to get that shot at, Keith Thurman is the man in line to get that shot at Spence. Because remember, Keith Thurman gave up that WBC belt because of whatever's going on, being married, injuries, having a child. So he's guaranteed the first shot at that title. Now he's returned to boxing, so he gets the shot. It's kind of crazy, but just how it works. A lot of you don't feel Keith Thurman deserves it. Errol Spence definitely doesn't want Keith Thurman out here fighting him anyway. But it looks like that's what's coming. Stanley Eunice is in line to get at to get at Spence for that WBA. But not sure what direction that's going to go. But I think as of right now, the WBC, they just have more pull. And they're going to push Thurman against Spence. So we'll see how that goes. And then Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, Terrence Crawford. Let me tell you, I like Terrence Crawford. But you gotta, with a guy like Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis, those are close fights, man. Those are close fights. You know, Virgil Ortiz, you're just not gonna hit him and stop him. Boots Ennis, he gets hit a lot. Whether people want to admit it or not, Boots Ennis gets hit a lot. So again, I just think though they hit a lot as well. Terrence Crawford, and those are really, really difficult fights, man. And I'm just not sure who's gonna pull that off. Oh, dropped my damn earbud. I'm not sure who's gonna pull that off. But I'll tell you what, it's gonna be frustrating. These guys get out there and they don't fight. Spence and Crawford don't fight. And instead we get Spence Thurman or Spence Stanley Eunice, or you get Crawford Ortiz or Crawford and Boots. They're still not bad fights, but it's not what we want to see. You understand? Frustrating as hell. So we'll see what comes out of that, but it's not looking really good at this moment. I'm not going to get into the specifics of all the finger pointing between Spence and Crawford. The truth is, nobody knows what the hell's going on. I've given up on that, man. Going into the weekend fight with Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, to be honest with you, I was thinking Eubank Jr. would outbox him. But at this point, I don't know. Because I noticed Roy Jones Jr. isn't going to be in Eubank Jr.'s corner. I don't know if you guys realize that. I think that's a problem. Whenever you got a guy who is going to be without his trainer going into a fight, or the guy who's been training him in his last 4, 5, 6 fights, now you got a different trainer. That I always say, man, that's like suicide, man. Mission failure. Like, why would you go get a different trainer going into probably the biggest fight of your career? These different trainers bring a different style, a different approach, a different mentality. As a result, the fighter can get caught up in a situation where they're going through a transition period where they're, in some senses, suppressing everything they know as a boxer and then trying to implement whatever they learned in training camp with the new trainer. And I just don't think that's something that Eubank Jr. should have done at this point in time. So to me, it's a toss-up, man. Conor Benn is still out here plugging along. He's going up in weight. So he had, well, I'll put it to you this way, right? He's going up in weight as far as not having to cut so much, because Conor Benn does not walk around at 147 pounds, 150 pounds. Conor Benn walks around more like 168 or something like that. So he still has to cut to get to 157. He just doesn't have to cut as much. And that's what I think some people are misunderstanding. Conor Benn's not packing on muscle and bulking up. The way that they're reporting this stuff is so misleading. Conor Benn is at 165 pounds. This man still has 7 pounds, what? 3, it's like 8 pounds? He's at 165? Yeah, he has like 8 pounds he has to lose. So again, he's got to cut weight, just not as much. So he doesn't have no damn advantage necessarily over Eubank Jr. Now, Eubank Jr., yeah, he's the bigger man, but he's got to cut some weight too. But I think Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, maybe Eubank Jr. walks around maybe 5 or 6 pounds heavier. So it's not a huge weight disparity. See, people think that, but it really isn't. So I really don't give a weight advantage to Conor Benn, and I don't give a weight advantage to Eubank Jr. at all. If anything, they're equally matched up. How you doing? If anything, they're equally matched up. But I will say this, for those of you who are saying Conor Benn's coming up in weight, he's going to be stronger. It's going to be like Roy Jones Jr. against, what's his name, John Ruiz, right? The Puerto Rican heavyweight. Roy Jones went up, touched him up, got the win, won a belt. You know what? It could end up being like that. But Conor Benn is no Roy Jones Jr. At the same time, it could be like Amir Khan against Canelo, right? But Eubank Jr. is not Canelo. It's just kind of crazy what's going on, man. But we'll see what happens this weekend. I believe they fight this weekend, man. And next weekend you got Wilder fighting. It's just all crazy. Then you got the Charlo boys. You know, Jamel supposed to be fighting Zoo. I have no idea when that's going to happen. Jamal and Demetrius Andrade. Ridiculous, man. Them guys just can't get in the ring at all. Talk about inactivity. I mean, it's horrible, horrible. You know, we go and we can read all we want, different articles about these fighters. We can watch the interviews that reporters are doing, but there's only so much awareness we're going to acquire. None of us really know what's going on with these fighters, what's going on in their minds, the decisions that are being made that result, or the conversations that take place that result in the decisions that are made. But at this point in time, with a guy like Demetrius Andrade, he needs to be fighting, you know? Man, passing up on opportunities to win championship belts, going up and down weight divisions. He doesn't want to fight anyone, but he says no one wants to fight him. Look, he's hurting himself, you know? I just wonder who's advising him, you know? Nobody's going to fight him. Nobody wants to fight him. He's not active enough. It's not even a money thing at this point. You know, he's not doing himself any justice. To me, it's real frustrating. He should be out here boxing. Jamal Charlo, same thing. You know, makes you wonder, man. Goddamn, does Jamal Charlo have $200 million in the bank? You know, what exactly is he doing? Man, it's frustrating as hell for me when it comes to the sport I love and these guys who I respect to be able to box at this elite level. for them to not have the activity that they need. Look, let's just be real. Floyd Mayweather is retired, and he's more active than the active fighters. That's crazy. Now, yeah, you can say, oh, he's doing exhibitions. It's easy fights. Let me tell you something. He's still got to train. Shit. These guys better learn from Floyd. Go get that money while you can and while you're young. That's like me. I'm retired, man. 25 years in the military. I took 4 years off because I have 4 sons to raise that little guy. My youngest who's 5 now. But next year he'll be in kindergarten and he can handle himself. And then I'm going to go back, in addition to doing this, which I enjoy. This is fun. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to start doing something. Because I got to get it while I'm young, while I'm still healthy. But I can sit here and wait around thinking some opportunity is going to present itself in my lap. Next thing you know, I'm 50, 55, 60, 65, and it never comes. So at some point, you got to do like, and I'm going to bring up this boxer, Austin Trout. And it's like, you know what? I'm not looking for this $10, $15 million payday. I'm going to keep snatching up $1 million here, $2 million here. If you guys remember Austin Trout was fighting like shit 3-4 times a year, maybe more than that. And every fight he was making like $750,000 to close to $2 million. Austin Trout stacked up his dough. Then he was going overseas recently and fighting. So it just makes you wonder about these guys' hustle, man. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying if that was me, because you know, we don't know their situations. But one thing we do know is their age. Father Time, he's never lost. You just don't want to see a guy like Jamal Charlo get in the ring now and be old. Look old in the ring. Demetrius Andrade finally get out there and get old in the ring. See, that's when people are going to really come at Andrade. But Andrade is hurting himself. He should be out here blasting people out the water. But I can't blame him for not wanting to take like $100,000 payday. But he shot himself in the foot from playing this damn game. He playing Russian roulette with his career, basically. There was one in the chamber, but he still managed to dodge that bullet. So we'll see what's going on, man. Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall, that one's around the corner. Excited about that one as well. A lot of hate for Clarissa Shields. A lot of hate for Savannah Marshall. Guess it just depends on who you're a fan of. But let's not downplay these two women and their talent, man. Clarissa Shields, multiple weight divisions. Champion, unified champion. Savannah Marshall, all those knockouts. She's got a belt. She's clipping people left and right. People are really giving her a chance to beat Clarissa Shields. And I think she's earned the right to be a betting favorite when it comes to this fight. But at the same time, it's going to be hard for someone to do something to Clarissa Shields that hasn't been done before. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be hard for me to buy into that and think that Savannah Marshall is going to be able to make that happen. I'm not saying they can't. What I'm telling you is it's a really good fight, really, really good fight, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's my little weekend recap. I'm going to finish my walk. I got to get down to 200 and really ideally about 20 pounds, man. Then it's back. I'll be back in Hollywood. But boy, getting that weight off is hard. That's why I respect these fighters so much. That's why you got to stay active, man, because when you slow down, it becomes damn near impossible, man, to get that work in. But anyway, man, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Y'all keep safe. And as always, I'm in the breeze.